Good day. The name is Richard Dako. I am talking about the AFCON as I've been doing recently. It is coming to a close. We are at the semi-final, and then the final. So we are getting to a close, and we are at the business end of the AFCON AFCON competition 2025. We have Senegal who is playing against Egypt, and Morocco is playing against Nigeria. The you know the four teams, all the four teams, anybody could win the 2025 AFCON. Yeah, and the funny thing, or the thing that amazes me, that I like at the AFCON, is that all the four teams have local coaches, with the exception of Nigeria, who has a Malian coach, but he is considered a local coach because he's an African. You know, Morocco has a local coach. Egypt has a local coach in Hussam Hassan, and there is also Senegal, who is also coached by a local coach by, was it Thiaw? Yeah, and Eric he is the coach for Nigeria. So that's it. We are talking about Senegal versus Egypt. Again, the name is Richard Dako. You might find me on YouTube under Richard Dako or Ammonia84. If you call me Nana Kwesi Ajiman, that is my real name. Yeah, Richard Dako. I don't know. I don't know how come I'm called Richard Dako, but Nana Kwesi Ajiman is my real name. Yeah. Senegal versus Egypt. It is a tough match. Yeah, it is a tough match. On paper, it is still a tough match, and in actual sense, it's still a tough match. Yeah, they have met 15 times in their history. Senegal have won 6 times, and Egypt has also won 7 times, and 2 matches have ended in draw. If Senegal wins, yeah, they will be tied with Egypt on 7 apiece. Yeah, that tells you how close this game really is, because previously, yeah, you can see from the records that I've given you, Egypt has 6 titles. I mean 7 wins. Senegal has 6 wins, right? And then 2 matches have ended in a draw. Yeah, you can see how tight this matches. Egypt is coached by their all-time top scorer in Hussam Hassan, who had 69 goals. Yeah, I beg your pardon, 69 goals. In 1998, he was a top scorer for the AFCON. He and Ben McCarthy both scored 7 goals apiece. So both of them won the top scorer in 1998. You can see he's tough. For Senegal, they are also coached by their former forward in Papatiao. Yeah, Papatiao, who competed in Japan Korea 2002 World Cup. Yeah, he went to the World Cup as well. So he's also a former player and a former striker for the Senegal national team. It will be tough. It will be tough. I can't say much except saying it will be tough. Senegal has won the AFCON, that is the African Cup of Nations, once in 2021. They won it, and Egypt has also won it, the AFCON 7 times. Yeah, I know. I remember 7 times. They won it in 1957, 1959. 1986, 1998, 2006, 2008, and 2010. Remember, the 2010 was hosted by Angola, and then they won it. Yeah, they won it. Papa Thiaw is also a striker, just like I told you. Egypt is a king of African football. Yeah, he's a king of African football. Yeah, the first time they met, I'm talking about Senegal and Egypt. The first time they met in the AFCON was the 1986. And then 1986 when Egypt hosted that competition. Yeah, in the opening match, Egypt as host nation met Senegal for the first time. Senegal beat Egypt 1-0. Yeah, there was a player called Tiono Yum. Tieno Yum. He scored that goal for Senegal. Yeah. It was like a cross, a beautiful cross from Umar Seni. Yeah, so he lifted it and then Tieno Yum headed the ball and then he hit the inside of the post. Yeah. So that is that. Egypt was coached by Mike Smith of England, who is also the first and only English manager to have won the AFCON competition. Yeah, the first and the only English manager to have won the AFCON competition. In fact, Mike Smith was the last Englishman to have coached Egypt. Yeah, after the loss, the Egypt went on to win the AFCON. Like I told you, he's the only coach from England that has won the AFCON competition. Yeah, they only conceded one goal, which was scored by Tieno Yum at the beginning, at the opening match. Yeah, Senegal was also represented by, I remember they had Czech Umar Toure, he also played in that game. Rujamendi played in that game as well. And Racine Kenny, he also played in that game. Papa Four, Mamadou Thiaw, Amadou Diop, Omar Sene. Yeah, I remember that name. Tiono Yum was the one who scored that goal for Senegal against Egypt. And then Jules Bukandi was the one who advised the Ghanaian. There's a story about the Ghanaian. I don't want to say the story. I don't want to say because if I say it might put the Ghanaian player in trouble. So I will leave it there. Jules Bukandi played in that game. Boubacar Sarr, he also coached in that game. Yeah, he also played in that game. The coach was Peter Schnittger. Peter Schnittger was German. Yeah, he was a German. So he was the coach for Senegal in that game, in which they won 1-0 against Egypt. That was the first time they met and the first time in AFCON that they also met. Egypt and Senegal have met 5 times in the AFCON. Egypt have won 2 in Ghana, Nigeria 2000 at Sani Abacha Stadium. Egypt beat Senegal 1-0. Yeah, Hussam Hassan, the same Hussam Hassan who is coaching the Egyptians. He scored that goal in the 39th minute for Egypt in that game. Now he's a coach for Egypt facing Senegal again. What will be the outcome? Will Senegal avenge that defeat they had in 2000, or Hussam Hassan will continue to torment the Senegalese? The second and last win for Egypt was in 2006 semi-finals. Yeah, just like today. They met in 2000 semi-finals. Egypt, so they'll be playing tomorrow. Sorry, is it tomorrow? Tomorrow, yeah, 14th. Egypt was then coached by former player Hassan Shiata in 2006. Yeah, so just like tomorrow, Egypt will be coached by the former player, a former striker in Hussam Hassan. Yeah, Egypt won 2-1 with Ahmed Hassan and Hassan Zaki for the Pharaohs, scoring goals for the Pharaohs on that day, and Mamadou Niang scoring the only goal for Senegal. Remember, they beat them in 2006 2-1 semi-final. That's the one I'm talking about. Ahmed Hassan and Hassan Zaki, or Amel Zaki. Yeah. Amel Zaki or Hassan Zaki, it is the same thing. Yeah. That is for Egypt. For Senegal, they have won 3 times, including the finals of 2021. Yeah, for 2022. Remember, the game was played in 2022, but the competition was for 2021. I hope you understand me. Because of the COVID, we couldn't play, just like they play the Euros for 2020 in 2021. Yeah, the AFCON was played in 2022, but the tournament was, for the previous year, which was 2021. That's it. And in 1986, Group A, Yum scored the long goal for Senegal. And that is also another win for Senegal in the AFCON. I'm talking about the AFCON. And then in 2002, Group D, again on match day 1, Lamine Diatta got the lone goal for Senegal against Egypt in Bamako. So yeah, 2002 they met at the finals of the AFCON for 2021. So that is one time they have drawn. Yeah, after 0-0, drawing 0-0, and then Senegal going on to win 4-2. Yeah. Mohamed Salah has faced Senegal 5 times and is yet to score against them, recording only 1 win, 1 draw, and 3 defeats. Sadio Mane has also faced Egypt 5 times, scoring 1 goal, and then recording 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 defeat. Yeah, that is the record for Sadio Mane and Mohamed Salah. Remember, they used to be teammates at Liverpool. I didn't like them. One bit. I'm a Manchester United fan, so I didn't like them. Senegal are now 16 matches unbeaten at the AFCON. Yeah, 16 matches unbeaten at the AFCON. The last time they lost was in 2019. Yeah, last losing in 2019. They have won 5 matches and drawn. They have won 11 matches and drawn 5 matches. Senegal also have scored 11 goals at the current AFCON. Yeah, the most they have scored at previous tournament. Yeah, they have never scored 11 goals. Yeah, they have never scored 11 goals at this stage of the competition. They have never. So this one, if this one, it has been a free scoring for Senegal. Yeah, they have scored in all 5 matches and have never previously scored in 6 games. Yeah, have never scored in 6 games. So if they score today and tomorrow, that will be another record for Senegal. They are unbeaten in their last 7 AFCON knockout matches, winning 5 in open play, 1 on penalties, and losing 1 on penalties. Yeah, in direct knockout matches, excluding the finals and the 3rd place games, Senegal are unbeaten in their last 10 matches. The last time they lost was in 2006 when Egypt beat them 2-1. Yeah, who are they facing this time around? The same Egypt. Yeah, they are still facing Egypt again, who they last lost to in direct knockout matches. They have previously been to the semi-finals 5 times, and in all of them they have scored, whether they lose or draw. So we expect Senegal to score, and don't be surprised if they score, because it is their record. If they don't score, it means it's the first time they have been to the semi-final of the AFCON that they couldn't score. They couldn't manage to put the ball at the back for themselves. For Egypt, they have never reached an AFCON final in North Africa when they were not the host themselves. I will take it again. Egypt have never reached the finals of an AFCON when in North Africa when they are not the host themselves. Yeah, in fact, this is the farthest Egypt have progressed as the AFCON hosted by the North African country, with the exception of themselves. They were eliminated in the group stages in 1988. Morocco hosted in 1988 AFCON. Eliminated at the group stage in 1990. Algeria hosted in the 1990 AFCON. Eliminated at the group stage in 2004. 2004 was hosted by Tunisia, and then reached the quarterfinals in 1994. That 1994 was also hosted by Tunisia. Yeah, so each time a North African hosts a competition, they can't manage to make it to the semi-finals. Yeah, so this is the farthest they have been to. So, and if they win today, I mean tomorrow, if they win, that will be the first time they have been to the finals of the AFCON that a North African nation has hosted the competition. Yeah, that's Egypt for you. Egypt is betting to become the first team to reach 10 AFCON finals. Yeah, remember I told you they've been to 1957, 1959, and 1986, 1998, 2006, 2008, 2010, 2017, 2021. Yeah, they have been to 9 AFCON finals. They are tied with Ghana. Yeah, they are tied with Ghana. Whereas Ghana have won only 4 and lost 5. These people, the Egyptians, have won 7 and lost only 2. Yeah, they have lost only 2 at the finals of the competition. Their only semi-final defeats came in 1970, 1974, 1980, and 1984. Again, I will take it again. Their only semi-final defeat came in 1970. 1970, Sudan hosted the competition. In 1970, they lost at the semi-final. 1974, they lost at the semi-final. 1980, they lost at the semi-final. And then 1984, they lost again at the final. Yeah, Egypt have progressed from each. I'll take a drink. Let me. Okay. Yeah. Egypt have progressed from each of their last 7 semi-finals. The longest streak in AFCON history. Yeah, that is the longest in AFCON history. They last failed to progress from the semi-final in 1984, losing 8-7 on penalties to Nigeria. Yeah, they lost on penalties to Nigeria. In fact, their last open play semi-final defeat was in 1974, some 52 years ago. Some 52 years down the line. No team is able to defeat them in open play, yeah, at the semi-finals. On that fateful day in 1974, Egypt lost 3-2 to Congo DR, or Zaire, that used to be its proper name. Egypt has taken a 2-0 lead through Joseph Mwepo's own goal. Joseph Mwepo was a Congolese. He scored the own goal. I think he died in 2015. Yeah, I remember 2015 he passed away. Yeah, before Abu Gresha got it, made it 2-0 for Egypt. Yeah, game continued. However, a minute later after Abu Gresha's own goal, Mulamba Indai pulled one back. 6 minutes later, that is 61st minute, Abed Kidumi Matantu. Abed Kidumi Matantu. Yeah, forgive me, Congolese people, if I don't pronounce the name right. Remember, I'm not Congolese, I'm not French, I'm a Ghanaian, I'm English. So I speak English, I don't speak Congolese language, I don't speak French. Yeah, so forgive me if that's why I prefer to say Abed Kidumi. Yeah, Kidumi is okay. So, but I will say it again, Abed Kidumi Matantu. Yeah, he made it 2-2. At the 72nd minute, that is when the 1974 AFCON goalkeeper Pierre Ndai, yeah, Abed Pierre Mulamba Ndai, yeah, he made it 3-2 to the Congolese. Yeah, so the Congolese won 3-2. That was some 52 years ago. It's quite some time. Yeah, it's quite some time. 52 years ago, it's quite some time. Senegal has a peculiar record. I said it last week, and because Mali could not defeat them, I will say it again. They have a peculiar record. You beat Senegal at knockout stages, and you have a proper chance of winning the AFCON. They have only lost 3 times. Yeah, okay. If you beat Senegal at the knockout stage, being at the round of 16, knockout or semi-final or the final, if you beat them, you have a proper chance of winning the AFCON. Let me tell you, in 2023, Ivory Coast eliminated Senegal. Ivory Coast went on to win the AFCON. That is one. That is number 2. In 2022, for 2021 AFCON, nobody was able to defeat Senegal, and Senegal went on to win the AFCON. That is 2. Number 3, Algeria beat them at the finals in 2019, and then Nigeria won the AFCON. In 2017, Cameroon beat them on penalties at the quarterfinals, and Cameroon went on to win the AFCON. I hope you're following me. In 2006, Egypt beat them at the semi-finals and went on to win the AFCON. In 2004, Tunisia beat them at the quarterfinals, and Tunisia went on to win the AFCON. In 2002, Cameroon beat them at the finals on penalties to win the AFCON. In the year 2000, that is what an anomaly. In the year 2000, 94, 92, I'll show you. In 2000, Nigeria beat them, at the quarterfinals. After I think Kalilu Fadiga was the one who scored the first goal for. Kalilu Fadiga scored the first goal for the Senegalese in the 7th minute, and Julius Agaoua and I think Finidi George. No, Julius Agaoua himself scored in the 81st minute and then 92nd minute. 81st and then 92nd minute to win the game for Nigeria. Nigeria went on to the finals and lost to Cameroon on penalties. In 1994, Ivan Sakala scored a long goal for Zambia to win against Senegal, went to the finals and then lost to Nigeria. In 1992, Cameroon beat them at the quarterfinals but lost at the semi-final to Ivory Coast. So these are the three instances that they are an anomaly. I think 8 times each a team beat them, they went on to carry the day. In 1990, Algeria beat them. Algeria beat them at the quarterfinals, and then it was the semi-final. Algeria beat them at the semi-final and went on to carry the day when they beat Nigeria 1-0. So you beat Senegal, you have a very, very good chance of winning the AFCON if you put in the effort. That is it for Egypt and Senegal. We'll be talking about Morocco and Nigeria. That is, to me, the final before the final. That is to me. That is the final before the final. And this AFCON is so poised. Egypt has won 7 times and Senegal have won 1. Nigeria versus Morocco. Morocco has won 1 in 1976. And Nigeria has won 3. With the talents that Nigeria have produced, and they produce, you'll be thinking they should have won more. They won it in 1980, won it in 1994, and then won it in 2013. And that's a long time. The time frame that they win it is too much spread up. The best defense versus the best attack. Nigeria has scored 15 goals in 5 matches, and Morocco has conceded just a single goal. I'll take it again. It is the best defense versus the best attack. Nigeria has scored 14 goals at the AFCON in 5 matches, 14 goals, and have conceded, and Morocco has conceded just a single goal. So you can see it. It is the best defense versus the best attack. The only goal they conceded was through Sinayoko's penalty in the 64th minute against Mali. That was the only goal they conceded. So in open play, you cannot score against Morocco. Yeah, Morocco's strength is in defense, whilst Nigeria's strength is attack. Brahim Diaz of Morocco is the leading scorer of the tournament and has already set a record of scoring 5 goals in 5 matches. Yeah, that is a record. It's a record for himself, and then for Morocco, and then for the whole of Africa. There is nobody in Africa who has scored 5 goals consecutively in the AFCON. From the group stage, you come to the knockout stages, round 16, quarterfinals. There's no player who has scored in every single game up to date. Yeah, Brahim Diaz has set the record. His goal against Cameroon means he has broken the record set by Fernandi Fantamendi Keita. The Fantamendi Keita scored 4 goals. Yeah, and then I think he scored 4 consecutive matches. Yeah, he scored in 4 consecutive matches. But not 5 consecutive matches. That was in 1972 when he set that record. I think that is 53 years down the line. It's quite a long time. Quite a long time. Yeah. Brahim Diaz, he is doing so good. He is doing so good. In fact, he is the only Moroccan player to have scored more goals at a single AFCON, beating Ahmed Farah's goals in 1976. Yeah, Ahmed Farah, remember 1976, he scored 3 goals. And that Ahmed Farah was a Moroccan. Yeah. Brahim Diaz, if he scores tomorrow, if he scores against Nigeria, that will be a huge record for one player to have scored in 6 consecutive matches. He's not a striker, he's a midfielder. He's attacking midfielder. And to have scored in 6 consecutive matches will be so huge. It will be so huge. We are expecting him to at least claim the African best player. Yeah. Nigeria and Morocco have met each other 11 times. Morocco has won 6 times. Nigeria has won 4 times, and 1 match have ended in draw. In fact, 2 matches have ended in draws. 2 matches have ended in draws, but they were for 1984 AFCON. I was played. They met in the qualifiers in Benin City, Nigeria. The score was 0-0. They repeated the same scoreline in Rabat, Morocco. Nigeria then went ahead and then beat the Moroccans 4-3 on penalties in August 1983 to qualify to the AFCON in Ivory Coast 1984. So that is how come the 2 draws we take it as 1, and then the other one we qualify, or we normally say Nigeria won. So that is that. This is the first time Morocco and Nigeria has met. The first time Morocco and Nigeria met was in 1969. The first time Morocco and Nigeria met was in 1969 World Cup qualifier for a place in 1970 World Cup. Remember, 1970 World Cup was hosted by Mexico. Yeah, Morocco beat Nigeria 2-1 with goals scored by Mohamed Felali. Is that Mohamed Felali? Yeah, Mohamed Felali. He scored a goal, and Ahmed Farah got the second goal for Morocco. And Lawa Mohamed, he got the long goal for Nigeria. In the return encounter, Mohamed Lawa and Samokoye gave Nigerians 2-0 win, but failed to qualify for the World Cup. Yeah, they won it, but they couldn't make it to the World Cup. In the AFCON, Nigeria has met Morocco 5 times previously. Morocco has won 3, and Nigeria has won 2. The first time they met in the AFCON was in Ethiopia, 1976, in Group B. Morocco beat the Nigerians 3-1. Yeah, the first time they met in the AFCON, 1976, Ethiopia, 1976, Morocco beat the Nigerians. Ahmed Farah, Abdallah Taxi, and Chebab, they got the goals for the Moroccans, and then Samuel Ojebode, yeah, Samuel Ojebode got the logo for Nigeria. I remember Samuel Ojebode, yeah. They both made it from the group stage and then met at the round robin. Remember 1976, I've told you already, Nations Cup. It just happened one time. It has never happened before. Um, we had two groups of eight. Yeah, eight teams competed for the AFCON trophy, and so they were grouped into two groups. We had Group A, which is four teams, Group B, which is four teams, and at the end of the group matches, the top two are taken to form another four team groups. Yeah, so they will play a league format. Yeah, and whoever wins that competition, that league wins the AFCON 1976. So that is how come they met again. Yeah, with Morocco again beating the Nigerians to show their superiority over the Nigerians. They met a third time in Nigeria, 1980, yeah, semi-finals. Just like tomorrow they will be meeting at the semi-finals. They met in 1980 in semi-finals. Nigeria this time around avenged the losses they had in 1976 by beating Morocco 1-0. I remember Samuel Felix Owolabi. Yeah, Felix Owolabi, aka Owobro. Owobro is a physical education PhD holder. Yeah, Owolabi holds a doctorate degree in physical education. Their fourth meeting at the AFCON came in 2000 at Lagos. Again at home. Again, Nigeria beat Morocco 2-0. Finidi George and Julius Agaoa. They scored the two goals for Nigeria. The first and final meeting was in Tunisia 2004. In Group D, Morocco whipped the Nigerians by a lone goal with goals scored by Yusuf Haji. Yusuf Haji, if you remember, 1998 African best player was Mustafa Haji, and he is the younger brother. Mustafa Haji is the senior brother to Yusuf Haji. Yeah, I should say it that way. Yusuf Haji is the younger brother of Mustafa Haji, and yeah, Mustafa Haji, he was a fantastic player. So that means in 26 years, Nigeria has not beaten Morocco. Morocco has won the last two in 2004 and 2018. The last time both scored in one game was in 1976. That's some 50 years ago. That you get a Nigerian and Morocco meeting, and Nigeria will score and Morocco will score. The last time that happened was in 1976. Each time, like whoever scores the first goal carries the day. Yeah, whoever scores the first goal carries the day. That is how come Nigeria and Morocco they behave. However, Nigeria have faced the host nations on 10 previous occasions, and their record is I wouldn't say bad. It's okay. It's 50-50. I would say they have played 10 matches. They have won 3, drawn 3, and lost 4. They have played the host nations 10 times before. They've won 3, drawn 3, and lost 4. So their losses are overweighs the wins. And tomorrow, a draw is not what we'll be looking for. We are looking for someone to win, because we need someone at the final. It is a semi-final game. Nigeria meet AFCON hosts for a second tournament in a row. Remember, they faced La Côte d'Ivoire in the group stages. They beat La Côte d'Ivoire in the group stage 1-0, and then they lost 2-1 to La Côte d'Ivoire at the final in 2023. Yeah, Nigeria also defeated a tournament host in 2002, winning the third place match against Mali. And then they win against Senegal in 1992. I think they won 2-1 against Senegal. Yeah, that match I watched it. Nigeria have lost 4 times against the host nation. They have lost twice against Algeria in 1990. Remember Algeria they lost the opening match. They were in the group. In the opening match they lost 5-1, and then the final they lost 1-0 to the Nigerians. And then Ghana 2008 they lost to Ghana 2-1. I watched that game. I was happy. Yeah. They lost at the finals. I mean, at the quarterfinals to Ghana and Black Stars. They lost to Cote d'Ivoire in 2023 final. Nigeria have drawn 3 times against host nations. In 1978, they drew against Ghana. In 2002, they drew against Mali, and then in 2004, they drew against Tunisia before losing on penalties. Yeah, that is Nigeria for you. In the knockout rounds at the AFCON, Nigeria have faced the host nations 5 times, only winning 1. I'll take it again. In knockout rounds at the AFCON, Nigeria have faced host nations 5 times, winning only once against Mali in 2002. They lost 3 times in open play against Algeria in 1990 final. They lost to Ghana in 2008 quarterfinals, and then they lost to La Côte d'Ivoire in the final of 2023. They lost to Tunisia on penalties in 2004. What is Nigeria serving as tomorrow against Morocco? Morocco is a fantastic side, beautiful side. They play, they're wonderful. They also need a title. In 52 years, they have never won the AFCON. It is a shock that Morocco, of all nations, have won 1 AFCON in 1976, Ethiopia 1976. After that, Morocco can win it. Nigeria has also won 3 times. They are underachievers. And I should say underachievers meeting each other. And one of them have to be at the finals. Who will win? I don't know. They are all coached by African coaches or local coaches. Nigeria by Eric Cherry. Yeah, Eric Cherry. Is a Malian. Yeah. So my name is Richard Ako. You might call me Nana Kwesi Ajiman, and you can find me under Richard Ako on YouTube or Ammonia 84. Thank you.